In the last couple videos, we unboxed and assembled our Phantoms, charged up the batteries, we've downloaded the application and connected our smartphones to the Phantom 2 Vision's camera. Now we're ready to come outside, calibrate the compass for the first time, and take a look at how to take off, do some basic flying, take a photo, land, and share the photo. So let's get started. First thing we're gonna do is, you notice I have inserted the Phantom's battery right into the back here. It's locked firmly in place. I can press it one time to check and see that I'm fully charged. That's great. Now the next thing we're gonna do is turn on our remote controller by flipping this switch here. Okay, our remote controller is on. Now we're gonna turn on our range extender here by flipping it to the on position. Now what you wanna do is find a good spot to take off and land from. We're out here in a little bit of a thick grassy area. It's better if it's a little bit smoother than this, or a little bit flatter area, but you know, this can work for now. I'm gonna set the Phantom down. To turn on the battery of the Phantom 2 Vision, you're gonna press the button once, then immediately hold it down for at least 2 seconds. So I'll show you here. If I press the button once, I can see the voltage. Now, when I do that, if I press it once and then immediately hold it down, press it once, hold it down. Now the Phantom 2 Vision is powered on. Those beeps you hear are the ESCs arming themselves. So I'm gonna go ahead and set the Phantom 2 Vision just like this so that it's pointed forward away from me. Now before we fly the Phantom for the first time, we wanna make sure to calibrate the compass. This is very important, as the Phantom will not fly right if the compass is not calibrated. So to do that, we wanna switch the S1 switch from the top position to the bottom position and then back to the top position quickly about 8 or 10 times. So when I do that, you're gonna notice that I'm in calibration mode because the lower LEDs will go to a solid yellow light. So I'm gonna go from the top to the bottom and back up to the top 8 or 10 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now if I look at the Phantom, I have a solid yellow light here, which means that it's in calibration mode. What I'm gonna do is leave it on the horizontal plane and slowly rotate 360 degrees, keeping it as level as I can. Now at 360 degrees, this light will change to green. Now I'm gonna tilt it onto its vertical axis and then rotate again 360 degrees, trying to keep it pretty level the whole time. You'll know you have a successful compass calibration because you'll just go back to a flashing light. And there we go, we're now flashing again. Now when you fly, you want to set the Phantom down so that the two striped arms, or the front of the Phantom 2 Vision, is facing the same direction that you're facing. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and turn on my app on my smartphone and connect to the Phantom 2 Vision. So we'll want to go ahead and connect to the Phantom 2 Vision Wi-Fi network named Phantom_1 and then some numbers and letters. So I'm connected there. Now I'm going to go ahead and open up the DJI Vision application, and you'll see there at the top of the screen that I am in fact connected to the Phantom's network. Now when I click on that camera icon, I can see that I've now connected to the camera. I can see my battery percentage is at 99%. I can see that I have 8 satellites, I have a strong Wi-Fi connection, and my SD card is in place and ready to go. So the last thing I want to do is tell you the difference between a blinking yellow light on our LED indicators and a blinking green light. That is, the back 2 lights, this one and this one, will either be flashing green or flashing yellow. Now the difference is this: when it's flashing yellow, that means you can fly, but you're not going to have GPS satellite reception. What that means is that it may drift around. Maybe that's because you're indoors, or you're in very heavy tree cover, or you're between 2 large buildings or something like that. You can still fly, but you're gonna have to manage where the Phantom goes. It's not gonna keep its position for you using satellites. The other thing that means is that if you take off before the Phantom 2 Vision switches to green lights, it also will not mark its home point before it takes off. What that means is that if you're out flying and you fly too far and you lose signal from your remote controller, it won't know to fly home and land itself because it won't know where it took off. So the best thing to do is wait before you take off until the lights on the bottom of the Phantom are flashing green. If it's really bright outside, you can simply hold your hand under it, and I can easily see here that I'm getting a green flash. So I know that the Phantom is ready to take off, mark its home point, and that way if I lose connection for some reason, it'll fly home and land itself. Also, that means that it has plenty of satellite so that when I let go of the controller, it's gonna maintain its position, even fighting a strong wind like we have today. So what I'm gonna do here, next thing to do before you take off, is you wanna back up a little ways and have the Phantom kind of out in front of you. You're looking at the back of the Phantom. That will allow you to make sure that you and the Phantom are both pointed in the same direction, which will make your left the Phantom's left, your right the Phantom's right. That's gonna make it a lot easier for your first several flights. So to take off, what we're gonna do is lower both sticks down and to the extreme corners. So down and toward each other. That's gonna start the motors. Once I do that, I can simply increase throttle. It's spring loaded to the center. I'm just gonna push it up a little ways and hold it there and let the Phantom come right off the ground. I'm not gonna let go and center this stick until the Phantom's at a good altitude, about 10 or 15 feet off the ground. So let's go ahead and do that. Then we'll talk about what these other sticks do. Down and together, starts the motors. I push up on the throttle, let it come off the ground. Then I can let go of the throttle once it's about 10 or 15 feet in the air. For this video, I'm gonna come down just a little bit lower to make sure that you guys can see the Phantom okay. Now, once I let go of the sticks, it is maintaining its position using satellites. Now, it will move around just a little bit because we obviously don't have access to military grade satellite. It keeps itself within about a 6-foot radius. Now, the best thing to do is once you take off, fly out a little bit in front of you so that you maintain a nice distance from yourself to the Phantom. If you take off and the Phantom comes right up over your head, it will confuse you on your early flights. So the first thing you'll want to do once you get the Phantom in the air is to learn what the right stick does, which is to go forward, back, left, and right. Kind of your cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west of the Phantom. So when I press forward, it goes to the Phantom's forward. When I pull back, it goes back. I go right, it goes right, left, and goes left. Now keep in mind, on your first several flights, you don't want to go all the way forward, back, left, and right, because this is what that would look like. Back, forward, right, left. Now you don't want to do that when you first start flying because it's going to start flying too fast for you. So the best thing to do is just make real easy adjustments. Back, left, right, forward, and then when you let go, the Phantom is going to maintain its position. So if I bring it over to here and I let go, the Phantom will maintain that general position based on GPS coordinates. So the next thing is to know that your left stick controls going up and down, up and down. When you let go of the stick, it will level out its altitude and maintain that altitude. When you push the left stick to the left or to the right, the Phantom rotates. Now I'll tell you, for your first several flights, the best thing to do is keep the back of the Phantom facing you so that you don't get confused on its orientation. Because if I rotate the Phantom around 180 degrees until it's pointed to me, and if I say go to the left, then it's gonna go to my right and the Phantom's left. These controls are controlling the Phantom's left, right, forward, back. So if I'm facing myself and I say go forward, which is normally I'm thinking go away from myself, then it's gonna start coming at me. So the best thing to do for your early flights is to leave the Phantom pointed away from you for your first several flights and make sure you're in a nice open space. So that's your right control, your left control. Now let's take a look at the application and let's take a photo. So here I'm gonna tilt up my camera a little bit. Let's go up here into the air a little ways. Get a nice view of the water. So I've gone up to about 60, 70 feet here. I can take a nice aerial photo of the lake by pressing the photo capture button. Now if you'll notice, I just went straight up. The Phantom is now 100 feet directly above our location. Okay, so once you've taken your photo and you're ready to come back down and land, what you want to do is, if you rotated while you were up high to get a better picture, what you want to do is make sure to rotate so that when you come down, you'll be looking at the back of the Phantom. That will make landing very easy so that your left is the same as the Phantom's left. So I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna rotate slowly until I see the 2 green lights are kind of facing toward me, so that I know that I'm looking at the back of the Phantom. Now, I'm simply gonna reduce the throttle stick a little bit. I'm gonna pull it a little bit below the center. You don't need to pull it all the way down or anything like that. It's gonna be nice and easy, coming straight down. It'll use GPS to maintain its orientation in space and come straight down. You can also adjust the forward, back, left, and right while it's coming down to put it exactly where you want it. Now, once I have it at the altitude that I want it, I can let go of my sticks and it's gonna maintain this position. So what you wanna do is position yourself so that you're over a nice flat spot on the ground. You have about 10 feet or 3 meters of altitude. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and reduce my throttle stick over my flat spot. And once it touches the ground, I'm just gonna reduce the throttle all the way until the motors stop. You've now landed your Phantom and have completed your first successful flight with the Phantom 2 Vision. Now that we've taken that aerial photo, let's go ahead and use the application to share that out to social media. Now, with our initial release of the application, it's important that you disconnect from the Wi-Fi network of the Phantom before you share out the photo. So I'm gonna go ahead and back out of the camera app and into my album. Now, while I'm still connected to the Phantom 2 Vision, I'm gonna take that aerial photo and synchronize it with my phone. So if I click on the photo I like, that we took while we were in the air, I can look at the photo and say, oh, that's a nice picture. Great, so I'm gonna click the little blue button at the top right. It's now synchronizing to my device so that it'll now be saved locally on my phone. Now I'm gonna back out of that. Now that it's locally saved on my phone, I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off my Wi-Fi. So once you've synchronized the photo from the Phantom 2 Vision to your smartphone, you can now select your smartphone up at the top middle of your album so that you can see the photos and videos that you've synchronized from the Phantom 2 Vision to your phone. We'll select the photo that we just took. We see a nice, great aerial photo here of Lake Austin. Now, when you click the screen at the top right, there's a little share icon. When I press that, I can see several different ways to share the photo. I'm gonna go ahead and choose Facebook. It loads up a little thing here. I'm gonna say my first aerial photo with the Phantom Vision. Okay, great, post. So we have now flown the Phantom 2 Vision for the first time. We've taken our first aerial photo, we've synchronized that photo and shared it out to Facebook without ever having to use a single wire or any computers. Now be sure to like our Facebook page where we'll be posting additional videos that take in-depth looks at the different features and functions of the Phantom 2 Vision. So once again, thank you for choosing DJI and have fun flying.